All right then, guys. Welcome to the Ratcave, and welcome to my boy Matt Reay to the Ratcave. This is like your second home. This is now, bro.
I love it here.
Here all the time. He loves it in the Ratcave. Crikey.
I think I came up with the Ratcave, didn't I?
Mate, I think you might have done actually. Yeah. Put the Denon Rain Newmark stamp on that. All three. So, mate, you know we are here now. We're talking. You've brought in the very, very lovely Denon Prime 4. Caught up with Jay in LA, sort of had my first proper look at it out there at the NARM show. And now, that's over and done with. You guys are sort of touring with this now.
You still have a voice.
Mate. He, just about had the voice, bless him. But yeah, so you're touring with this now, obviously we were the first, one of the first to get it here at DJKit. But, I kind of went through the majority of like Jay, I asked him to spiel it to me, and he did exactly that. So what I wanted to do with you today is just keep it cash, have a chat about it, but also out there, we're in a room with loads of other people. There was a guy, as per standard, as soon as we pressed record on the video camera, some guy started having a mix directly behind the camera, which, so we didn't really get a chance to go through much of like the audio, effects and stuff. So we've got all this lovely, nice and set up in here now, so we can go through all those bits.
Yeah,
but,
let's do it.
First of all, mate, like in a nutshell, the Prime 4, like, just give me a quick overview about it, just for everyone, like.
Absolutely, yeah. So, world's first 4-channel standalone DJ solution.
There you go. Solution,
yes.
Oh, solution.
And I say solution because obviously it caters to so many different people and it ticks a lot of boxes. So it inherits all the functionality of the SC5000 Prime series with the multi-touch, multi-gesture screen. We have things like, our door-style time stretching and things like that. But also with the Prime 4, there's a lot of features that are specifically aimed at the mobile guys, the wedding DJs. Yeah. So many practical things have been implemented on this.
Yeah, I mean, so first up, like my first kind of question is, this is obviously heavily aimed at the mobile DJs, you would say, yeah?
Yeah, there's a lot of features that cater to those, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, would it... the same with... I guess the same question could be asked about any kind of setup, really. Like, a club DJ would still have its uses... This would still be used to a club DJ, should I say. Obviously, and especially a club DJ that's used to the Prime setup.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and we like the Prime series in general. We have a lot of third-party integration with it, so this carries very much the same auto-analyzing process as the SC5000. So if you come to this with, let's say, a record box stick, or it was just a stick full of things that you hadn't organised any particular way, all those things will be auto-analysed. And again, like the Prime series, like the SEs, it's a one-time process. Yeah, that doesn't have to happen again. It's on your stick.
It remembers it, and then it puts it onto the stick. Yeah. I mean, just to touch on it quickly again, even though this is this runs with Engine Prime.
Yeah, it runs Engine Prime software, and in Engine Prime we can bring in playlists and tracks from our iTunes, Serato, more recently Tractor as well.
Yeah, okay.
And obviously now Record Box is the process that happens on the unit. So that's the on-the-fly kind of analysis with Record Box. Yeah,
so you've got your Record Box stick, you plug it in, and this unit recognises,
you'll recognise the hot cues and playlists from Record Box as well.
Banging, and then it doesn't reanalyse it, does it? It just creates a Engine Prime folder on your stick.
What it'll do is create a root folder in the stick. It runs alongside your existing folder, but also once that's been analysed, like I said, it's a one-time process. But it doesn't affect that stick going to other units.
Yeah, but then you would recommend then taking the tunes that that are on that stick and putting them through Engine Prime for them to get beat gridded and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Engine Prime, it analyses tracks so fast. Yeah, it's a great tool. But obviously, with people just approaching it for the first time, we've made it so it's a barrier of entry removed. It's it doesn't have to be gone through Engine Prime. Obviously, Engine Prime is a fantastic piece of software. But obviously, as we know, people approach booths all over the place with
Can I have a
zero
go?
or no. Yeah, exactly.
I'm a DJ too.
Yeah. Open deck nights. People just rock up to open deck nights with a stick, and obviously
to a vinyl only.
They may remember their needles as well. Don't ask the club for needles. Don't do that. But yeah, you can just put your stick in and then just do what you need to do, or do what you do best.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's obviously standalone. It's got, is it 4 USB inputs, 1 SD card?
Yeah, as far as media goes, you have 2 USBs at the top here, SD card, and at the back you have 2 USBs as well. Now, one of those USB ports has a little charge icon on it, and that's specifically for charging, let's say, a tablet or a iOS device.
Phone.
Yeah, and let's say you have that as a backup that you're running. It's the Prime 4. That's purely so you don't have to give up a power plug in the booth.
Ah, right, okay,
so again,
yeah, sure.
These practical things have been thought of.
But I mean, this is an absolute beast of a unit. I mean, this is pretty much a computer.
Oh yeah, it runs the multi-core processor. Yes.
Yeah. So, and you were saying earlier as well, something which actually really impressed me about this is, even though it does have all of these USB inputs and stuff, you can put your own hard drive underneath. So tell
Absolutely,
everyone
yeah.
about
In
that,
fact, if I hit menu here and then I go to source, you see I have this backup running here, and then also I have something called drive 1. Now, if I were to tap drive 1, you will see that I can now run from my SATA drive underneath. Now, the great thing about the SATA drive is once that's installed, we can either format it from the Prime 4, so we don't have to necessarily format it, then install it.
Because when you say format it, so say, I mean, people with, like myself, with a MacBook.
Yeah.
And actually, it would be worth saying as well, surely, about the USBs as well. Do they have to be, is it FAT?
FAT32 or exFAT
32.
for the best experience possible.
So how does that work then? If you've got a record box, say I've got a record box USB straight out of my Mac that isn't FAT32, will it still read it?
If it's OS journaled, it doesn't read that, but it reads FAT32 or exFAT.
Okay, so it has to be FAT32 or exFAT.
Yeah.
So
same with the SATA as well.
Yeah. So sorry. So you I asked you about the hard drive.
Yeah.
So it
yeah, cool. I mean, mostly when you have to format a SATA drive, you have to buy what's called a cradle.
Yeah.
Which basically runs the SATA connection into a USB. But if we install the SATA drive straight out of the box in here, we can format it directly from the unit. So once it's formatted and it's up and running, we can keep topping up that drive simply by plugging in the Prime 4 to the laptop, putting it in control mode, and just top up that drive and continually keep adding new tracks to it.
So and it actually, cause like I'm a bit like, I like stuff that fits in perfectly into places, you know.
Yeah.
Don't know about that. That's a
You
bit,
can expand upon that later.
No, I probably should. But no, the with this underneath, I mean, I don't want to turn it upside down and stuff, but underneath there's actually a slot that that you unscrew, you can put in a hard drive, and then it docks.
Absolutely, yeah. Once the screws are tightened, it docks up into the cradle.
So then,
cradle the space, I should say.
And then you don't have to take it out to fill it up. You just plug this straight into your laptop.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying before, if you want to keep topping up your drive, the last thing you want to do is remove the drive and take it to the laptop. Once this is plugged in and running in controller mode, you can keep topping up those tracks and topping up those tracks.
So this basically, when with that hard drive, external hard drive plugged in underneath, when this is plugged into a computer or a laptop, this in effect becomes like a massive external hard drive.
It sees it as an external drive.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So, you know, you don't have to worry. I mean, that's for kind of mobile guys that, you know, maybe
that's a huge thing for mobile guys.
Yeah, you know, you don't have to have all of your or certain songs onto a stick, or then have to pull a stick out and put the next one in for a I mean, what's the biggest hard drive you can whack in here?
We've stress tested this on 1 terabyte drives.
Right.
We've also tried 3 and 4 as well, but we stress tested on 1 terabyte. So again, for the best experience, we're recommending a 1 terabyte drive currently.
So 1 terabyte is 100 gigabytes,
and that's still a lot of music. When you think about it, terabyte.
Sure,
absolutely.
Sure. Is it 100 or 1,000 gigs?
We might have to Google that.
Right, okay, yeah, right, yeah. But yeah, I mean that is so much music. For example, on my MacBook, I've got 48 days worth of music on my iTunes.
That's a big night out.
It is, yeah, non-stop. Imagine that. And I mean that's probably, I don't know, maybe 150 gig. So
still plenty of room.
It is. But yeah, mate, that is a huge thing for mobile DJs, because it means that all of their music's on here, and, you know,
it's in situ.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about, have I left the current playlist USB at home or whatever. You know, you can just whack it all on there, and you know.
Cool.
You're rock and rolling.
Speaking of playlists, that could kind of segue into something quite nice here, because there are a few new features on our searching that we've implemented on the Prime 4.
So it's all so this just speaking about searching, mate. This is a complete touch screen. This is like, in effect, a tablet.
Yeah, it's multi-touch, multi-gestural, and what I mean by multi-gestural is if I hit the menu button there, and you see my tracks running, I can pinch and zoom the waveform, basically.
Yeah.
Right, like that. Now that means, also, I can have scrubbing the waveform too. Also, I can change my time from ascending to descending, like that. Also, the really cool thing is, I can go to my library, and then I can swipe through my tracks up and down, but also swipe to load. So if I swipe to the right, I can load in deck 4.
Pick which deck you're in.
But if I swipe to the left, it goes into the prepare panel. Yeah. If I hit my menu button, go to prepare.
There it is.
There it is. And anything that's played from the prepare panel, it clears in sequential order, basically.
Oh, so if you play it, if you play the tune, then it removes it from the prepare list, so that you don't play it again.
Yeah. It's old school. That's why it's designed to have like a record sticking out a record crate.
That's cool, man.
How we remembered it back in the day. Yeah. Filing through.
Oh, man.
Really cool feature.
Yeah. That's really cool. So this is a touch screen. The search. It's got a QWERTY keyboard.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know.
So let's say, for example, I'm in my crates here now, and if I go to QWERTY search and I type, let's go with De La Soul.
Perfect, mate.
Absolutely, and then.
He knows me, does Matt, right?
He
knows how to sweeten me up.
I've prepped this lad here. And then let's say we have our filters for De La Soul. Now I can further search over here and go through to key. And these are things like comment, genre, year, date added, rating, length, title, BPM, artist. But then on the left-hand side, I can filter through the keys as well. So let's say 11A, 9A, 1A, and it just makes that searching in the moment just that much faster.
Yeah.
But the great thing about searching with key is this has something called matched and compatible searching. So if I hold down here and go to preferences, and you'll see down here we have key filter, matched and compatible. So for those guys who mix in key and rely heavily on that for their style, it's just going to make those, that getting to that right kind of sound more easy.
So the key filter, match and compatible. So match. Say you're in 8A,
it's going to list all 8A.
Only bring up 8A, whereas compatible
you're going to get
the
things like
to go
relative minors and things like that, things that work together.
So you don't have to be just stuck in one. And so obviously you've got it on Camelot. We're speaking about 8A, 7A. That's the old Camelot thing.
And then the bottom here you've got BPM filter tolerance as well.
But you can the key notation. You can change it to sharp.
Sort of traditional musical theory.
So that's really cool. As well. I mean,
but I was going to mention about the filter tolerance. You see, I've got it on +3. So now if we go back to the search, and I go by BPM this time. So if I hit, let's say 80, you see now it's filtered between +3 on the target BPM. So 80, we've gone from 80 to 87, 82. So it's giving you choice of how far you want to search it.
78, 82. So so there's actually only 2 differences there, but it could go up to 3.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's user adjustable.
And that goes all the way up to 15.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're on 100 BPM and you want to slowly get up, to a bit of
Gabba.
Well, like get up to a bit of deep house or something, and you can build up to 115 bit by bit. Mate, yes, really good features. I mean, it goes back to kind of what I was saying. But then I felt the same way about the SC5000s in that they are, and I know that you guys call them media players, because they are literally like little computers.
They are indeed, yes.
And this is no different. And I said it to Jay out in LA, and I'll say it again now. This is literally like an X1800 and 2 SC5000s stuck together.
Well, with the mixer, it's interesting you mention that, because this mixer was actually redesigned from the ground up to kind of fit the Prime 4 sort of ecosystem, if you will.
Right.
But what we did do is carry over all of the digital effects and the sweep effects from the X1800.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, let's go on to effects then, mate, because obviously on the X1800 and on the higher end, club mixers from all brands, not just the brand, but you know, you've got your effects sort of triggers down here in the bottom right-hand corner and stuff. That's where you'd expect it. But your effects on this unit are on each side. So just talk me through. First of all, mate, talk me through where the effects are, how they work, and then what I would like to do, because like I said, I didn't get a chance to do this with Jay in LA, is actually listen to each of the effects and what they sound like in the mix.
So we're down here. We have the sweep effects. So let's run this loop up here.
Yeah.
So now I have the filter.
Nice low and
high. Obviously, the mixer settings are adjustable. We hit menu and then go to utility. And the first thing we see is mixer settings. So we can change our filter resonance straight from here.
Cool.
Let's go back to the effects as well. So we've got echo as well. Obviously, all post fader.
Yep.
We have wash, which is one of my favourites. That almost emulates the post fader kind of pull down.
Yeah. I like wash actually.
And the other way as well. So it's a good kind of latched effect, so I can hit it.
Can you change the beats?
These are fixed.
These are fixed,
yeah.
Okay.
But they're running from obviously the tempo.
Right, yeah, sure.
And obviously classic as well, you've got noise.
Yeah. Never been a fan of that effect, mate. I just don't really understand it. But so with it being fixed, the echo, but it gets smaller as you get more into the middle. Then.
Yeah. So obviously we're in the 0 position. We can go either two ways with this. We can have a longer echo.
Yeah.
And then if I go to the left on the rotary, it's going to be much more a shorter one.
Yeah.
So the increments get smaller.
Yeah.
To the left.
Yeah. So I mean that, in effect, boom tish, is that's like doing the beats anyway with the echo. But the wash is fixed, or does the wash do the same thing?
It runs obviously. It's clocked to the tempo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the digital effects, we have the 14 effects carried over from the X1800.
Yep.
So in total, we have the echo, the delay, the hall echo, ping pong, auto gate, flanger, LFO, phaser, bit crush, roll, reverse roll, beat break, which as you know I use all the time.
Yeah, I love the beat break.
Yeah, scratch, and then we're back to reverb now. So obviously we go to the echo. You can hear these are all post fader as well. Let's take this down to a 3/4. And for those who don't know what beat break sounds like, let's skip straight to that.
Yeah. Beat break is beat break exclusive to the Denon series?
Yeah, that's something that was on the X1800, but also
it's a Denon effect.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a creative tool because like all these effects, they're sweepable. So if I run this up now and I choose, let's say, of the patterns available, let's go with this one here.
Yeah, so actually, mate, before you go into it, can you just explain what the beat break is in terms of, because you've got different patterns which does...
Yeah, what it does is, let's say per each quarter note, you can probably see on the camera here on pattern. You
probably
can see.
Can't, to be fair. This camera's not not brilliant.
Well, you can trust me, it's here. You can see basically 16 quarter notes basically, and what it does is per each of those notes, it kind of ducks and comps in a different pattern.
Yeah.
So if I were to pick a real simple pattern, let's go to the start now. You can hear it's repeating kind of every other kick drum. Now if I page over again now, and we'll hear another pattern.
Yeah.
But obviously they get more
complicated,
rhythmic as you go on. So here's one.
Yeah.
But it's sweepable as well. So it almost has this other pulse underneath as well.
Yeah.
That's a really cool one. A lot of people, when they use beat break, they kind of loop one section like we're doing now and use it as a transition effect.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Now, also speaking of effects, just going up to the mic section here, obviously Denon's famous for having great mic integration with their products. So you've got two Neutrik combi inputs at the back here. we've got mic 1. We've got
combi, meaning that you can use a 1/4-inch jack or an XLR.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got a low, mid, and high on mic 1, and you've got a low and a high on mic 2, also with echo on each of those as well, and also talk over. And again, as I was talking about the mixer settings earlier, we can edit the talk over speed in the menu as well.
Yeah, I went through that.
And again, mobile DJs rely on great mic connectivity.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially 2 mics, and emphasis on the fact that this has got 2 mics which have got their own inputs. Yes. You don't lose one of the 4 channels to have to run the mics.
Yeah. Opposite's one for the DJ and one for people making announcements typically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's wicked. And you can, so one of them's got a 3-band EQ and the other one's got 2-band EQ.
Yeah. And also you've got the echo level adjustable here as well.
Yeah. And then so it's the same knob for both mics at the echo level, but then you activate them using the per buttons here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
What we'll do is we'll segue over to this side because there's another mobile DJ friendly feature going on here.
Yeah, this is, if I'm not mistaken, the first time that this has ever been done.
This is a first, yes. This is what we call the zone out.
Ooh. The Denon first zone out, mate.
Now, what the zone out does is, so let's say, for example, you are playing at a wedding venue or, anything, a corporate event or something like that. And there's, let's say, a second bar or maybe like a terraced area. You either have your own speakers or you want to wire into the array system that they already have. And you want a separate track selection, maybe more like a chill out kind of vibe, or different kind of theme to the playlist. You can do that. On the back of the unit, there's a XLR left and right for the zone out.
Yeah.
So what you do is you hit zone here, and you get this message that comes up, and it says main mix will no longer be sent to the zone out. So then you go yes, that's fine, and it says here select a crate or playlist in the browser. So let's do that.
So at the moment, you can have the zone out will be the same as the master out.
Yeah, if you were to plug in an XLR now, it would run what we were listening to earlier this loop.
Yeah. So even if you do say want the playlist, the mix that you're playing now in another room, you can just zone out. And you
can assign it the way that I'll show you now.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's common. So we go library, and let's pick a playlist here. Let's go to my playlists, and let's say here, this one right there, and there's an icon there that says center zone.
Yep.
Now if I tap center zone, you'll see now on deck 4 we have our tracks. Now if I press play on deck 4, you see this green bar appears. That means that the playlist is playing continuously.
Yeah.
We can still skip through the tracks using left and right here.
Yeah.
And that's cool because obviously we can pre-prepare a playlist and then send it out at the right points in the evening.
Does it auto mix it?
They just play continuous.
So that'll probably be coming at some point.
The great thing about Zone Out is we are going to be relying on so much kind of in the field feedback with how the mobile guys are using Zone Out.
Yeah.
And obviously the way the architecture of the system is, we future-proofed it. We can keep building and expanding and keep adding features.
Yeah.
So you'll probably see more features to Zone Out.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, it is such a brilliant feature, especially for mobile. I mean, what in effect this means to all you mobile jocks out there is it means you can double your fee now because you can play in 2 rooms.
Well, the way that's controlled as well is on the Zone Out we have a dedicated level and then low and high as well. And so actually you can see just below there we've got the booth as well. So Zone Out is controllable here on its own.
The volume.
Dedicated gain,
yeah. And
if you actually want to come out that mode, it's very simple. You just tap zone, and then we press continue, and we're back into deck mode for deck 4 now.
So the Zone Out has got 2-band EQ on it as well. So I mean, right, okay.
So we can tweak it.
Yeah, well, just in case the room is say mobile DJ in a hotel, for example. And the second zone is underneath the rooms.
Exactly. Yes.
Turn the bass down or whatever. Always thinking. Always thinking. Denon.
Well, I mean, I can't emphasize enough, the architecture of the system, the Prime system, even the SEs, and, they're just going to keep adding features because, we listen to the users, we take on board all of the user suggestions and say, hey, how can we implement this and what's the best way to implement it?
Yeah. So speaking of adding bits and bobs and blah-de-blah,
there's a couple of interesting key functions on this as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll ask some questions at the end. Crack on with the key because. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I did see this briefly in LA, but like I say, it was very, very loud. So yeah.
Okay, look. So let's take this loop out here and run this track up. So you can see here on deck 1, I've got a track that's in the key of 3A, and then this one here is in 7A.
Yep.
Now I'm going to do something called the key shift now. Now if I tap 3A, you'll see a box appears at the top.
Yep.
Where we can shift the keys in real time. So that's in real time, non-destructively, but a really cool feature is if we play the second deck now, we can actually match the keys in real time.
So you just hit.
Yep.
You hit key lock there.
So with key lock engaged, what you do is you hold it down for 2 seconds and it matches the key of the opposing deck. So you can hear that lift there in the key.
I just want to say as well how well you got that in time. Without there's no sync button activated. Matt Reay.
I've been doing this sometime.
Very impressive, mate.
So now you've got 2 keys matched.
Yeah.
And obviously when you take the key lock out now, you can hear the shift that happened. So now we're hearing clashing keys. So if you hold it, and hold it again. You can hear the lift in the key.
Yeah.
So now we have 2 tracks matched to 3A.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
does that work with any song in any key? Or is there only certain, like we were saying earlier about like the BPM, the BPM parameters, like will it only, if there's a song which is so out of key with another song, will it say, no, I'm not doing that?
Well, obviously there's as you experiment with this feature, you'll know kind of what works.
Yeah.
But the key thing here is, pun intended, is it's doing it in a non-destructive way.
Yeah.
It's utilizing the quad-core processor to shift the key around and maintain all of the bass and all of the mids and the highs and more particularly the more melodic elements as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, just to call back to the SC5000 as well. That's on plus 50. And that sax is still going.
Yeah, it doesn't sound grainy at all. It
No,
doesn't sound
there's
like
no
it's-
artifacts.
It doesn't
That's all
sound
there.
like it's working hard
Yeah.
even to do it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, those pianos are just still singing.
yeah, that's really beautiful. Actually, it's almost a bit eerie. Let's go faster.
Now we're doing it.
And that sounds horrible. But mate, yeah, I've always been impressed with the time stretching with the SC5000s, and
I mean, that's what we call door-style time stretching. Now, another cool thing about the touchscreen is this is going back to the library management and the whole searching. So if I go to my crates now, a cool thing I can do on the Prime 4, which is actually we're going to be porting back to the SC5000 and the 5000M,
Yep.
is you see here this pen icon. If I
Yeah.
tap that means I can real-time move my tracks around playlists and crates.
Yeah, you can create a crate.
So I can say create a crate, and let's
Yeah.
call it DJKit, and then create, and I can tap any of these tracks, and if I tap it, you'll see that they collapse, and I can run it into DJKit folder.
Yeah.
Real simple.
Yeah, man, really, really nice, and you can do that with sort of all of your tracks.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, and just
Yeah.
drag them into a playlist.
The cool thing about that is if you find yourself in a particular, if you get a certain request, or you think, actually, you know what, I've been getting that request so much, that probably would be better off in this folder, or right now I'm going to make a request that's based on this particular wedding's theme, and I'm going to start moving these in real time the more I do these gigs.
But I mean, yeah. So because obviously the kind of immediate solution for like a request is to use the old prepare function.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then to then sort yourself out in the future, like
Yes.
that has been coming up. You can then drag it into your wedding playlist.
You
or
can have
whatever.
total management just from
Yeah.
Prime 4.
Yeah, and so that playlist then
Yes.
would that playlist then go onto the USB that you had plugged in, or does that playlist go into the hard drive?
That's on the... Right now we're running from this USB here, so that's going to be reflected on that USB.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, it doesn't have to. It actually puts it onto USB. Doesn't store it onto the hard drive. You don't have to. It's not a hard drive function. It works on the USB.
It's running off from the USB. Yeah. One thing you
really
can also
cool.
do with the USB is the record function. So if I run this up there just a little bit. If I go back to my menu, you'll see on menu we have the record function here.
Yeah.
So if I tap this, I can choose where I want to record to. I can actually record to the same drive I'm running music off as well. So if I tap this back up here and press start, we can also pause the recording as well. Stop, save as. Again, we can call it DJKit Wedding maybe. Done, and that's simple as that. And the great thing about the record is if you're doing a wedding, let's say, and the speeches are being run, the mic is also recorded onto that track as well.
Right. Okay. Here's a question for you. So this is a standalone mixer.
Yes.
It's got
all the inputs are line for switch.
Yeah. So how many inputs are on the back for standalone for CDJs or media players?
So you've got you've got 4 inputs at the back. Now a question we get a lot is the Serato connectivity.
Yeah. That was going to be one of my next questions.
So Serato support is coming. If anyone's used the Prime series in HID mode before, they'll know what that looks like. It'll be like a variation on the one you see on the SC5000. Obviously, we've got now the touchscreen that's 10-inch to work with, but you'll also have DVS support on channels 3 and 4.
Cool. So just talking about Serato then.
Mm-hmm.
When that does come, I mean, I appreciate this isn't here yet, so you can't really. There might be some restrictions on what you know and what you don't know. But so, will you still have the waveform, these Prime waveforms on the screen, or would you then? So, what I'm asking is, would this screen then turn into your laptop screen, or would you still be looking at your laptop screen for the waveforms, but have your Serato menu on this screen? Or
well, for those who aren't familiar with the way it's currently iterated on the Prime series,
this is
what you have is you do have a waveform on the bottom. You have your deck selection on the left hand side, but the majority of the screen is your library browsing, basically. So crates and playlists, etc. But also the filtering is also the same as well in our Serato mode. Obviously, the hardware is going to be retained as well. In terms of what they do in terms of the slicer functions, the roles in Serato, memory loops and things like that. So with the upcoming Serato integration with the Prime 4, you'll see obviously a variation on that, but on the 10-inch format as opposed to the 7-inch format.
Yeah, wow. I mean, mate, that screen is, like I said before, it is a whopper.
Well, it's also adjustable as well.
Yeah, that's it.
We can just run it down or run it back, and also to kind of confirm something we've been asked a lot is cases on launch.
Yeah,
we are working with some manufacturers to provide some cases ready for launch, but also we are shipping, I don't have it with me here today, but we're going to be shipping with a screen protector, which is like a felt underside with the Denon logo, which protects the screen in transit, obviously, because this is the centerpiece right here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, mate, I went through the performance modes with Jay.
Yeah, so I mean, just a quick recap. We've got obviously hot cues, our loops, our roll, our slicer.
Which, I mean, they're the same as the
so you've got a slicer mode here and a roll. Hot cues. So straight from the Prime series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. With effects, going back to effects, obviously you've got an effect per side here. I've noticed up here that there is channel selectors 1 or 2. So that's effects 1, effects 2.
Yep.
So you can have obviously one effect playing over there and you assign it by pressing 1. Another effect over here, assign it pressing 2.
Yeah.
Where can you do 2 at the same time?
Right now it's either or, so we can have either bank 1 or bank 2.
Okay.
But again, down the road we can see if we can implement that. But right now it's just either bank 1 or bank 2.
Yeah. Okay. But but then you can use like those top effects with the sweep effects.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You can layer them up like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, let's quickly talk about the front, mate, as well. You've got channel assignment here. You've got your fader contour as well.
Yes.
Which is obviously, as it's a standalone, you know, it's a good thing to have. Yeah. Is there any further, you know, crossfader? Can you like put the crossfader curve? Can you sort of make it any more accurate in the settings, in the mixer settings, or is it
have like the scratch curve, or obviously the club curve there?
Yeah.
And obviously just at the front here, just to mention, you've got obviously your line and your switching between the engine software. We've also got implemented fader start as well, for the left and the right. Now, one thing you can do is if I touch this little arrow here, and you see another menu appears.
Yeah.
And we have either quantize on or off, and continuous play on or off. But also, you can see we have our deck stop time as well. So if I just ramp this up, that's our deck stop time. And that's where you'll find it in that menu there.
Okay.
If we hit back to the main menu.
Sorry, mate. How did you get that little menu up again?
Yeah, so if I just...
Oh, there's that little button there.
So between library and search, you see this little arrow pointing upwards.
Yeah.
But if I go back to the main menu and go to preferences, that's right, utility, you see in our mixer settings, this is where all of our fine tuning goes on. EQ type, filter resonance, filter type, headphone gain. Right now, as far as your crossfader curve, you've got the kind of more club style and the scratch curve, but also this is replaceable as well, as you can see.
Yeah.
But it's already, this is what we call the flexible fader.
Yeah.
It's already pretty tight.
So back to the front, mate, just quickly as well. So there's 2 headphone inputs as well. There's
you've got quarter and
inch,
3.5.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And a 3.5.
Never let anyone borrow your adapter.
No, no. I had this happen to me recently. Had it. Well, I left it plugged into something. I was using my controller but it was fine because I had it on a 3.5, and then got to the club, went to play a set. The mixer didn't have both of them, and God bless my friend Lindsay. She walked from her house and dropped me one off. Bless her so much. She saved my life.
That's why we give you 2.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. So, mate, actually something which I didn't speak about already was the looping function.
Yes, of course.
On the decks, and the beat grid edit, which is here. So let's start on the loop function, mate. Talk me through that.
Just starting with the pad modes. You have the 2 loop modes here. Also, you've got the loop rolls, which become deactivated, obviously, as you take your finger off. But the great thing is, like the SE5000, when you hold down the loop roll, you'll see that this waveform splits. So it's almost like the slip mode is active anyway when you use this function, but you can see it visually represented as well.
Can you turn the slip mode off?
Well, the slip mode is activated once you go into a roll mode. Right now, slip mode's off, but slip mode's engaged at the top here.
Yeah.
And the second loop mode is in the encoder here.
Yeah.
And you can also see on the screen, you've got the amount of loop represented in the screen.
Yeah.
Now, great thing with the loop mode is if I hit a loop, let's say I've kind of misjudged it somewhat, I can hold down shift and move the loop bracket around.
Right. Wicked.
Let's say I set this to a 4-beat loop. So I can move it in real time.
Mate, that's excellent.
Good mic saver.
Is there a way that you can prepare a loop like forwards and then for the loop to land in advance?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you set up your loops, these become your save loops. So
I mean like for the tune to be playing, having a loop in place, but then the tune to be playing as it is, and then just loops when it hits that loop.
Yeah. When you hit that loop, let's say you've got it activated there. If I just pause that, you'll see when I pressed it, you see the loop highlights.
Yeah.
Let's say I hit it. It's off now, but now it's on.
That shift thing is
it's cool.
It's really.
You
cool.
mentioned beat grid as well.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So onto the beat grid bit.
Cool. Let's run off this track again. So you can see
you must be so fed up with this saxophone, man.
There is not enough I can get of this sax.
To be fair, it could be a worse instrument.
So you can see obviously this has been beat gridded.
Yeah.
Now, let's say, for example, you come to this with a selection of music that requires analysing on the unit. Now, we all know there's a particular, let's say, era or genre of music, sometimes maybe kind of the older hip-hop that's not quantized and so forth, where the beats, the BPM will slip somewhat.
Garage, vinyl rips, stuff like that, yeah.
So the cool thing is, if I hold down Edit Grid, I can move the BPM using the jog wheel. Now again, if that beat grid is edited the way I'm doing it now, once I press Edit Grid, again that's saved to the stick. And when I'm in Edit Grid mode, you see, I can also move it in single increments like this as well. And if I hit Shift and Reset, I can just go back to what it was originally.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the beat grid editing. Again, we can do that on the SC5000 as well, using the jog wheel.
Yeah. Mate, the whole thing, I mean, I'm impressed with it. I really am. You know, you've even got like the little, in-screen, in-jog displays, which I know the 5000s have. But, you know, displaying your artwork and stuff. Obviously, it's a 4-channel mixer. You know, just this might sound like a simple thing, but, you know, people are asking about it. It's a 4-channel mixer, but there's only 2 decks. Mm-hmm. So to use the 4-channel mixer,
we hit deck 3,
you layer them up,
and deck 4.
Layer them up.
A great thing in terms of actually how we personalise that. If we go to menu, and preferences, go straight down to the bottom, you can see we have deck colours. Now these are all going to be reflected on the Q buttons as well. So if I hit deck 3, and I can spin around the colour wheel, and you'll see it change. Now if I hit deck 1, again, so you see now I have the blue on deck 1. If I go to deck 3, I'll have, let's say, the red or the orange. And again, you see the cues reflect that as well. Yeah. So there's a certain kind of colour memory that goes.
Mate,
that
the
as well.
the same as on the SC5000s and X1800. Yes. You know, when you're trying to be clever and layering up all of your tunes, you know, it can be really confusing if they're all on the same colour. So yeah, you know, it's like you can be DJ EZ and not get mixed up. Not, you know. And actually, that's nice that there's a different. You know, you could get to pick your own colours as well, which is
you can personalise it how you want it.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's take that back to green. There we go. That's my choice.
Yeah.
Also, you know, with all the mobile DJ friendly elements in place, it's also worth mentioning it's the right kind of weight.
It's
as
not.
Well, innit?
It's not too heavy.
Yeah,
I do have to say, and I said it to Jay. I said it
really?
to Jay.
You said that
to Jay? I said it to Jay. To be fair, mate, Jay sounded like he was going to sneeze on me when I saw him out there, man. Poor bloke. Narm. He had been narmed.
Hi, Jay.
What's going on, Jay? I said to Jay, for a 4-channel mixer, you know, and a 4-channel standalone unit, it's actually smaller than I thought, which is a good thing because obviously, you know, it is aimed for mobile DJs, let's face it, and, you know, a lot of mobile DJs they've got enough stuff to carry without having to carry, you know, a massive heavy unit. But despite it being smaller than I thought, that screen is just, it's amazing. Yeah. It's such a good screen. And I mean, people that haven't heard of this or haven't watched any of these videos that we're putting out or whatever, would probably come over and be like, how have you got that iPad in there? You know, what unit is this that comes with an iPad? And it is literally, the whole thing, it won't take up too much space in a DJ booth either, you know? Yeah. I mean, but it's compact, but the mixer the mixer's not squashed at all. No. It's nice and spaced out. You've got plenty of space in between, so, you know, your sausage-fingered
colleagues,
mobile DJs, you know, they're not going to be sort of pressing the wrong buttons, or, you know, it's all nice and spaced out. And
I think with some of the other features as well, we talk a lot about the mobile DJ elements of it, but, you know, for what it is, a 4-channel standalone, it's a great introduction just to the Prime series in general, and especially you can come at it with a stick that's been nowhere near Engine Prime, or even your, let's say, Tractor or Record Box library, and you can just do your thing on it, you know.
Yeah, you know, especially for you guys, hopefully people will get used to this unit and be like, do you know what, I really like it, and then maybe treat themselves to the to the Billy Big Spuds Prime setup down the line. But mate, I mean, I reckon let's leave it there, man. I think that's I'm pretty sure we covered pretty much everything. Are you happy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always happy, mate.
Always happy when you're at DJKit.
Always happy in the Ratcave.
Oh, mate, thank you so much, bro.
No worries, man.
Yeah. Guys, the Denon Prime 4, you know, it'll be out March, April time. Once we've got it, feel free to come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. But yeah, I've seen it a couple of times now. I've had a couple of plays on it, and I've got to say, I think that this could be a bit of a game changer. I'll leave it there. Peace out.